Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've done a free trade portfolio update, and in the last week or so I've made a lot of changes. So I thought it's about time to do an update to show you what I've done. Basically, the main thing I've done is reduce a lot of my positions. So I've come out of a lot of companies who were in profit, and the reason for that is because I really want to reduce the amount of companies that I hold. The reason for that is just that I've changed a lot of things in my life, and there's a lot of things happening at the moment that basically mean I can't give time to keeping track of the companies and making decisions and staying on top of what's happening. But also partially because whilst some of the stocks like Tesla and AMD in my other portfolios, I obviously don't have them in my free trade portfolio, obviously they've done amazingly well. The majority of the companies don't actually outperform the S&P 500. So whilst it's been fun sort of investing in different companies and I've really enjoyed it, I'm not coming out of all of the individual positions. I am keeping the high dividend and the reliable, stable dividend stocks because I still want to have dividends every month. So obviously the S&P 500 does pay dividends, but not as high as some of the other dividend stocks. So essentially, when we go through the portfolio now, I will tell you whether or not I'm planning to keep a company or not. The long and short of it is that if a company is in profit and it's still here, then I'm keeping it. If it's negative, I will let you know because I'm refusing to sell when a company is not in profit for me, because I don't need to close these positions and I don't want to close them in a loss. So what I'm going to do is firstly take you through the positions that I have, and then at the end of the video I will show you the positions that I've closed. So first on the list is S&P 500. So I've currently got 17 shares here, which is actually an increase of 5 shares since the last update. So what I've done is the positions that I sold, I reallocated to my ETFs and other positions. So 5 shares at £65 went to the S&P 500. So you can see here it's about 1,107 here at the moment, which is currently up 15.8%. So about £151 profit. Now, before I did this reallocation, this position was about 28% up for me. So obviously once I went in at the higher price, it brought the average down, which is fine. But I did always want the S&P 500 to be my biggest position. And if you hear banging in the background, I'm really sorry, it's the fireplace. Next is the FTSE All World Dividend ETF. So here I've got 15 shares at £701. And that's an increase of 3 shares since the last update. So currently up 13.9% here, which is about an £85 gain. S&P Div Aristocrat next. So no change here because I no longer have Free Trade Plus. So £615 in this one and plus 21% currently. So up about £107 on this one. Global Clean Energy next. So I've got 64 shares here, which is 11 shares up since the last update. So I've purchased 11 shares and it's currently worth £608. It is down 12%, so £84 down, but that's mainly the reason I've been adding to this position, taking advantage of the lows currently. I've mentioned in other updates previously that I do think that clean energy is going to be a long-term, really good investment in my opinion, so I'm happy to keep adding. GSK next, so up 2 shares on this one, up to 30. Current value £459 and it's up about 7%, so a £31 gain. Now, GSK currently has a 5% dividend yield and it is a pharmaceutical company. So I am keeping GSK in my portfolio. I'm not going to be selling out of this one. FTSE 100 next. So 35 shares, up 1 share since the last update. Currently £244 and up about 12%. So £26 up. AT&T next, up 0.6 of a share since the last update, so currently down 21.2%. So £56 loss at the moment. But again, they have a really high dividend yield. Obviously, it's distorted at the moment because the price has really dropped. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the future with AT&T, but like I said, I'm not selling anything at a loss. So this is one to watch. I'm going to keep track. I'm going to see how it goes. Once I go into profits, I'll make a decision on whether to keep it. I added AT&T to my portfolio because of the dividend, so we'll see. New addition to the portfolio now, legal and general. So I have this in my eToro portfolio, but I've decided to add it to the FREETRADE one as well. So 69 shares here currently, and it's currently down 0.29%, so not really that much. And it's about £197 invested. Now, Legal and General have a 6.2% dividend yield currently, and through my research, I do think that they are a really good long-term investment for dividends. And my pension is actually held with Legal and General, so there's that. Amex, I've not added anything to my investment in Amex, but I am keeping it as an investment, so it's currently up 45.9%, which is about a £57 gain. So considering it's currently dropped, I do think that there's more to be had in the gains on Amex. They do have a small dividend, 1%, which is really low, but I do think that this is a company I'm going to keep in my portfolio long term. AbbVie next, so 1.86 shares here, which is 0.1 of a share up since the last update, so not very much. Currently up 30.5%, which isn't too bad. And the value is £167. Again, AbbVie I'm planning to keep long term. As you can see here, it's got a dividend yield of 4.7% currently, so definitely keeping that one. Polar Capital next. I've added 2 shares here for 20 shares in total, so £159 value and up 13.6%, so about £19 up. But Polar Capital again is a high dividend company. The whole reason I added them was for the dividends, so 5.68%. So again, another one that for now I'm going to keep in my portfolio. Visa, I've added 0.14 of a share here, mostly because it's down, so I'm trying to take advantage of the low price. So currently down 11.2% for me, which is about a £15 loss. They do have a very small dividend, but I do think that once I'm in profits here, I may sell out of Visa. So this is one to watch for me. Now, the next two you can see here are physical gold and physical silver. I'm not going to sell out of either of these, whether they're in profit or not, because to me, I see them as a bit of a hedge against a market crash. So I've not added anything to them, but I will in the future. So currently 3 shares in gold, 4 shares in silver. And as you can see here, gold's up 1.6% and silver's down 20%. But not too worried. This is mainly in my portfolio to offset any market crashes, because generally gold and silver go up when the markets go down. My good old trusty Oatly next. This has been one of my most disappointing investments, if I'm honest. Look at that. Since the IPO, they've just been going down and down and down. So I am down 62% on my investment, which is a £72 loss, almost 73. So with Oatly, it was sort of like Greggs for me. I mostly invested in them because I truly believed in the company, and I'm a massive consumer of Oatly and Greggs. So it was one of those investments where I knew that I was investing at a risk because I didn't do too much research when it came to it. I just invested in it because I loved the company, and once in a while I like making investments like that. Obviously it's not paid off, and potentially once it's in profits, I'm going to remove Oatly. Canabo Group, this is the medical cannabis one, and it's currently down 53%. I've not added any new shares here. I've just kept it as is. This was one of the penny stocks that I invested in, hoping that long term it will shoot up. Obviously, it's not been that long, but currently it's gone down. I do think that there is a future here, especially in Europe though, so I'm going to hold on to this one until it shoots up, which it hopefully will. One to sort of keep an eye on, but again, this one I invested knowing that it was high risk, as penny stocks tend to be. Pretty much same story for Argo blockchain. As you can see here, I don't have Plus anymore, so I won't be adding to it, but I will be keeping this until it shoots up again. So you can see here that massive shoot up at the top, and now it's gone down. I do think that it will probably rise again. I'm currently down 27% almost, but considering my investment wasn't massive, it's only £16 down. Sentiment next. I've not made any additional investment here. Currently 46 shares. Again, it's currently down 28%. I do think this will go up if the market crashes. So I had this before I had the physical gold and physical silver ETFs. Once this goes into profit, I think this will be one of the ones that I remove, because now I'm quite happy just keeping those ETFs. Emerging markets ETF, so 5 shares here, no change, currently up 8%. Now this is one I'm going to keep as well, because I do think that long term, the emerging markets can go up quite a bit. So I am going to keep this one. Secure income REIT. So again, this is one I'm going to keep. So far, this has outperformed the S&P 500 for me. It's up 36.8%, which is about £7 because I don't have a lot in it. They do have a 3.98% dividend yield, and you know that I have realty income in my trading 212 portfolio, but I wanted to have another REIT, so I am going to keep this one. Rigel Pharma, another penny stock that I've taken a chance on, knowing full well that I might lose all of this. It's currently down 34%, so about £12 for me, as again I didn't invest a lot because I knew that this was a high risk investment. For now, it's staying in my portfolio and it's going to be one to watch. And the final share left in my portfolio is the Hut Group. Again, you can see the chart. It's just so disappointing. I use so many companies that fall under the Hut Group. So again, like Oatly, this was just a sort of risky investment for me that seems to have really not paid off. So 70% loss at the moment. As with Oatly, if it does go back in profit, I will sell. But for now, even if I lose all of it, I didn't invest that much. So those are pretty much the only positions that I have left on FREETRADE. But now let's have a look at what I've completely sold out of. Okay, so the first thing I sold out of was Robo Global. So I had 2 shares here, and they were up 43.2%, so £12 up. I thought that was a good chance to take the profits and reinvest back into the S&P 500, so I sold out of that. Next was an ETF for S&P UK dividend. As you can see, it was only available for Plus members, and since I no longer have Plus, so I can't add to it, and it didn't really perform as well as the normal S&P, I decided to sell out. So I sold out at 11.4% profit, which was about £13. Next was Greggs, and I've held Greggs pretty much since I started investing, so this was a painful one to get rid of. But it was up almost 70%, so I just decided to take the profit and reinvest it elsewhere, so up about £37 when I sold it. Cybersecurity, so I sold cybersecurity because I had 1 share, which I think was a free share that I got. It was up only about 5%, and again available to Plus members only, so I couldn't increase my position. So I thought I'll just sell it and invest in the S&P 500. Plug Power, so Plug Power at one point was up like 120% for me, which was insane. I sold it at 61% gain, so about £46 profit, which is pretty awesome. But Plug Power was very up and down and very volatile, and it's included within the clean energy ETF anyway. So I'm still indirectly holding Plug Power, just not on here. And I thought 61% was a pretty good profit to take. And the final position that I sold out of here was Tesco. And this one, it says I sold it at a loss, but this was always showing at a loss pretty much since they distributed that extra special dividend and the share split and whatever it was that they did that I can't remember now. So if I take into account that, I'm not actually in a loss, which is why I sold out of this. So whilst it looks like a 7% loss, it wasn't actually a loss. I decided to sell out of Tesco because with everything that's going on right now with food shortages and supermarkets and everything, I'm just worried about the volatility. So I decided to close my position whilst it wasn't making a loss. So that's pretty much it. I would love to know what you think of the decisions that I made, and I'd love to know whether you've made any similar ones recently. But other than that, hopefully this has been useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.